Uh, Man, I shouldn't be right on these walls. They're awesome. I should do that. But let's go for another stroll. I like these walks, right? These stories. It's like a trippy, isn't it? It's like a little fucking a table of contents to this place that we call home. It's trippy. That's all I can say. I love it. I'm glad that I can take you on this trip because it's like it's lonely just being knowing stuff, right? You're just kind of like and that food, get off their food and get on the other food, right? That's healthier. That's made from you. And just learn to make that transition to that other change, right? To go be that other person. But like these people, right? This 500 club. So anyone can be part of that club because it's your mind, right? It's not there like that other one, the 1%. That was their private club. They got their reward. They're gonna get their fucking right? Because that's their blessing. That's they got. It's like now, it's like okay, now let's play this way, right? And it's a slow process. 1 year, that's slow, right? But it's you. It's all about you, not about what's happening in the world. Who cares what's happening out there? They're fucking just stooges, right? They're just being manipulated to whatever. And I just want to keep you busy at this point. And just focus on Game of Thrones. Really, I don't work for them, I promise. I just like it because that's where we should be going. And that's where we're headed, right? It's just like, you need to get into, just stop being a puss. It's like if you're in a city and you like all these different things, you know what I mean? It's just like, look at all the things that you do that are not necessary. Right? And you're like, that is my whole day. What else do I do? Just like, go within and look. And you'll find out your path, right? You won't be wondering all the time and be a stooge to someone else. It's like you're making other people rich, right? These elite. You work for them. You don't work for yourself. You're like, oh, I have my own business. It's like, no, you don't. You work for them, right? It's like, get out of that system of money. As long as you use money, you're in their system. You're making them rich, right? Just don't use it. Get away from it, because just get away from it. Train yourself, right? And just free your mind, buddy, because it's cluttered. Free your mind. You need to be able to see the sun and be able to just smell the flowers and be able to just have the day, right? And you look at these job that you have, it's like you're getting nowhere and you're just going round and round, or it's kind of like, and then you feed all those things and then you wake up on Monday and you're broke. And you're like, right? And you don't think about it because it would just destroy your whole week and you just go. But you do it every week. And you think, yeah, I know, right? But you gotta just stop that and just jump off that. Here's how it is. Here's how it is. This is exactly how it is. This is how stupid society is. They are just fucking riding, right? Just going hard. We have this 20-year-old guy just going really hard, right? and then you zoom out of the camera, and then you zoom out, and all of a sudden this guy, you see him, he's on one of those round things for toys, right? Those kids have, and he's just going on that, but it's just going round and round. But in his mind, he thinks he's on a fucking thoroughbred, right? And that's how they fool you. They think you're doing this, but you're just a fool. You're their fool. And it's just like, right? But it's what they think, and you're just their fool. And it just, but you pull back even more, right? And you see it's like they just have in your front of your face. It's like this vision that you think is there, but they're showing it to you, right? And then they're making you feel, and it's just trickery all over again, all over again. They're smart, but they're dumb at the same time. And I'll show you how they're dumb. And once you know how they're dumb, you're able to kind of just avoid them, right? So they are attracted to. Actually, no. Let's do this. I'll point them out to you. You know that the Eye of Ra. So anyway, on the Eye of Ra, there's they have these different parts, right? And they have this one part, and it's just like it says 1/8 and 1/64 and whatever, right? Okay, if you were actually to take that apart, that is actually a person it creates, right? Because there's actually 7 senses, not 5. So you have your 5 senses that they have right there, right? Touch, da 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 da. And the other one is love, and the other one is, of course, sex, right? So how do spirits or demons reach humans, right? Do those 5 senses and sex and whatnot. And so those 7. And that's how they manipulate you, right? And so it's just like this eye just represents the manipulation of how we do it, right? And so that's how they do it. But the first one is being the smell. They go around and they smell, right? Sometimes people don't even realize they'll be at a restaurant and they'll be like this in the other dimension, right? They'll be like this other like huge, dirty, horrible being ready to just enter and pounce, right? But waiting for those words. And so like restaurants eating out, it's like you should never eat out because that's where they go find you, right? Like even now, if you go there, it's just like maybe they just can't find you, and this circumstances is just allowing them not to hurt you, right? Because there's certain people who have blessings and who don't, and depending on the type of person you are. So if you think like if you're the type of person, say, who just is this good, right? Had good food because the food makes you a better person. It just like it cleans your cup of iniquities because you start doing these nice things for people, and you're like, oh, here you go, man, right? And all of a sudden it's just like it's a game. So if you think of all the bad things you do and all the good things you do in a day, and you think like, oh fuck, I'm gonna hurt. So here's the thing with the standards. Remember I said there's standards for colored, right? Because I said First Nations people. Well, I'm just using them as a color, because okay. So it's colored and white. So here's the 2, right? So you have a God for the colored, and you have a God for the white. So there's 2 gods. They always say, oh, there's 2 gods. It's like, oh yes, there will be. So these 2 gods are going to like have their own people, right? And then they're going to have their own separation. So they'll have their own time of peace, right? So they have this peace treaty, and okay, sweet, and that's when this thing will come, right? And so this is like the next, not millennium, but I guess a prillennium still, right? And then of course he says there has to be this battle. It's just a story that's played out that this fella's has talked, right? So you gotta like just go with it. So it's like, oh, that's fine, right? And just have fun. It's just a game, and it's kind of like what we do, and it's just we manipulate, right? And so it's just kind of like, and then it's just like after a while you kind of look at someone's move, and you're like, good move, right? So you feel like a Donald Trump. It's like a Trump card, right? And so you're just like, well, who's Trump card? I don't know. It's just like all these signs in nature. If you really look, right, and all these people do look, but they don't see. It's just kind of like pull back a bit. You'll figure it out, right? But it's just a game. It's just fun, and I guess the more you sit back and just not take yourself so seriously, right? And so you just kind of just think like, I just think like I want that Ferrari. It's just like you don't need that Ferrari, right? It's like you have this old car, be happy with what you have, right? People don't have nothing, right? And it's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess. I need to be happy with that president. Just thinking like, well, I want to buy this house. It's just kind of like, you shouldn't even get a fucking house. It's like people are not meant to be stagnant. It's like water. You're like that water. And so because you're nature. And so if you be stagnant and you sit there and you're like, oh, I've had this job for 30 years. It's like, I just want to cry for you, right? And I just want to be like, oh, that's too bad. And then walk away, right? It's like, it's not something to brag about. I'm just like, that's a bad thing. I'm sorry. I want to give you a hug. Okay, come back here, another hug. I'm sorry, you're gonna die, bye. Go find yourself. And this is what I'm saying, right? Look at your current situation. You look at that, the Matrix, that guy was sitting in a fucking cubicle, and then he found himself, right? He just fucking went. He didn't think about it and says, oh, hold on, I'll put this email on, I'll check in a week. He just went. But then he was forced to, so people started fucking shooting in this fucking building, right? It was kind of like, just forced right in though. And he kind of like, well, yeah. You really, really need someone to come and have a gun pointed at your head before you think like, okay, I'm going. Ask yourself, do you want to go kicking and screaming, or do you want to go walking? You know what I mean? I'm not trying to scare you into saying like it's just going to happen, but I'm trying to just tell you like the way that future, the way that time, okay? The way that I look at time. Time, I don't look at like just specific dates. So when I talk, it's like it's the whole future, right? It's just kind of like, well, it's a week and a time. It's just like, well, it could be 30 years. It could be 5 years. It could be a year, right? But May 1st, 1 year is what I've given you to just change yourself, right? And so like, well, and afterwards people are like, okay, well, May 1st next year, something's gonna happen. It doesn't happen. It's like, well, you got your frequency at 500 and you're a leader, right? And you're changing things. And so people always think this is like, oh, there's always a doomsday. And this is like, why do you perpetuate that fear that lives inside you? Why don't you just say like, hey, you know what? I have the power to change today. Imagine if I did this and all of a sudden you go out and you give yourself a little goal, right? This is the time to start giving yourself goals. Here's your first goal that I'm giving you is go on this fucking trek and come with us, right? And then you can just start making yourself goals. It's like, well, right? And then you decide maybe you're a goal person. It's like, my goal is to, I don't know, just do that. It's like, some people are goal oriented. It depends on you, right? There's always going to be things that are going to try and make you stop and say, oh, I can't, I have. It's just like, no, change your mind. Change your mind, right? Here's how I'll help you change your mind, actually, between here and there. For the ones who are naysayers. But for just the ones you kind of want to just be able to get out of that cloud. Because you're in a fucking cloud and you're thinking like, no. And that guy behind you is just like, oh my God, what's going on here? Why is he not doing this? Right? Because you're not talking to him and he wants to just talk. It's just like, and they're crying. It's just like, my God, I want to fucking go play this game. I want to go home. Right? This is like a home. Because once they're playing the game, they can change it to their specs instead of change it to another person's specs. It's just a game. It's just what we're going to do. And we're just kind of like, we want to play to you, right? Because it's like, we're you. We're there with just more knowledge and more skill and more anything, because you're pathetic. I'm sorry. Alone, you're pathetic, right? And so it's just, we look at how the Bible and all these fucking things, it's kind of like, it all matches, right? It's just a stupid fucking metaphor. Whole life's a metaphor, right? So you don't really understand anything until you just jump. Fucking jump, you fucking human. Because all my friends who are in this place love this game, right? That's why we don't want to see the humans die, because it's kind of like, oh, I guess now we're just plus, right? Here's the thing. If you're negative with a negative frequency, you're going to go straight to hell. And no questions asked. It's like, oh, I was a good person. It's like, but it was hard to be a negative, right? Because you go up and down. Sometimes you're a good person and you're positive, and you go start eating fat, you go bad, and all of a sudden, and then you're trying to think, well, I did all those good things. It's like, yes, and they were canceled off by how much of an asshole you were before. It's just, right? It's just, yeah, this is the time we're at now, because a lot of the times it's hard for you to be good when you're at a negative. So really, it's trying to save, right? And so if you look at a lot of stuff you've done in the past, it's like, well, I'm a really bad person anyway. So it's really like how it is. It's like, well, that's the thing though, right? Everybody has an opportunity now, because it's like there's a reset button that's been done. So that's what I'm trying to say. And so I'm trying to say, just walk, go forward, change your mind, be that different person, right? And just go. Get out of the system. Get your mind out of the system. There'll be people who will listen and people won't. It's like, it's just that same Bible again, right? Many will hear and few will follow. I'm hoping that's not the case at all, because it's just based on probability. You know what I mean? That they say that, because it's like, well, based on this bell curve and based on everything, it's just like this, a lot will falter, right? Because they're addicted to that food. It's like, okay, imagine this. You're sick, you can't really, it's just like, well, I can't go. I need my meds, right? It's like, well, I can't go. Like, someone would say, like, I can't go, I need my makeup. I'm like, oh my God. The hilarious part is if a person wears perfume outside on the Sandus track, they'll just be like a walking flower. They'll just be running around, just be like, oh, look at her, just getting lots of exercise. Good for her, right? And she'll just be waving her hand. She's like, oh, look at her, she's waving. Oh, that's nice. My wife's just really enjoying this fucking adventure, right? That's good. Not realizing that she's getting stung, right? Because she's a flower. She just smells great. It's just all perspective, right? And so, but good for her though. She's getting exercise. It's like, bring your perfume. You'll lose lots of weight faster. Right? It's just a journey. Whole life's a journey. Your life's a journey when you woke up, right? Now your journey started again. All of a sudden, you're alien. It's like, dunk. Alien's like, okay, here we go. And all of a sudden, it's just trying to tell you to wake up all day. All of a sudden, this alien, here's the story, right? And then it's like on the screen. All of a sudden, he's just like, oh, but he can't reach you and say like, hey, let's do this, right? He would tell you like, hey, let's do this now. Go, 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 go. Let's go with this stuff. Go, right? All of a sudden, you run to the store. It's like, we're waiting for this, right? This is like it's the next phase, right? And so these aliens in this game, so these aliens, right, the ones who want to come back, it's just like, well, you'll know if you got pardoned or not. It's not like, it's almost like a lottery. So it's like, you'll know. It's like, you'll know a sign. You'll see, right? You'll find it in your humans. Let's go. And so it's kind of like a message was given to them in a way, right? From their new leader, Lucifer. Here, let me tell you about their leader. Oh, he's just an ass. So anyway, in their world, right, this is how do I explain this? In the world that the world that we live in, right, is the aliens, the white one, and there's another world that they live in, which is like the alien world, right? The angel world. It's so hard because we're all one, really. So the angels, we're to describe this place, right? Because there are excuse me, there are a placeholder almost, right? Because we're so tiny, and it's like we try to go to you, and it's like no, we need a in between. So we use them as an in between, these angels, right? So in their world, say for example, they're mighty. Right? This is a very, very, very high frequency world that you humans can't even never touch, right? You're low simulation little bitch. That's all you are, right? That's why angels look at you like, what a fucking twerp, right? And you are. To them, you're a twerp. It's like, the way you look at an ant is like, we look at you like that zit on that ant. You fucking zit. You're my little zit whore. Oh, I love you, my little whore with zits. Oh, so cute. Right? That's when I know you're past your prime. I was like, if you went back in your regiment, you'd be a cute whore. You'd be fuckable, right? Oh, I'm kidding. I digress. You're not whores. You don't even know you're whores, right? But you're whores. So this journey, and the way Lucifer, right? The way he treats his angels, there's no love there. Absolutely no love in that dimension. They thought that he was going to be this leader, and he just deceived them. Man, my God, he took all of the... But here's a great thing about that. This little deceiving people from your team. So you want these people that you know will turn, will leave, right? And so you always extend things out. Because you're kind of like just... You make things uncomfortable, and you kind of just... If you send it out, then the ones who aren't supposed to be there won't be there, right? Just because you want longevity. But you also want the ones who are willing to stay, right? Because you allow this being at your angels, right? And then you tell this guy like, I'll always be in your heart. He's like, okay, right? It's just kind of like, well, I'm being literal, right? He's just kind of, yeah. And then at times when, I don't know, we're not hanging out and talking or whatever, it's just like he would think, oh, he's not doing anything. So we go talk, right? Because you only got 50% of knowledge. You never give anyone 100%, otherwise you'd have two gods, right? You can't do that. You have one. There has to be one, and that's it. And then it kind of just trickles down. But there's 50% is just like, he is always created about knowledge. So it is his people at Atlantis, right? So he'd always go there, and the people would just want to just learn. They just, oh, they're so smart. I was so proud, like, to watch this entity that you created, right? It's like watching your child, because you have a child and you watch it grow, right? And you watch it become a person, something that you're proud of, and you're kind of, this is mine. This is my being, right? This is little me, and you're proud. And then imagine when little me all of a sudden comes to me and goes, "Fuck you, cunt." You're like, oh, little me would not say that, right? This is kind of like, wow, your kid just turned into a fucking little cunt, eh? Right? So it's like it's like that thing is just now possessed, that child, right? The real child will not say that because of it's just kind of like, at that point, you know, like, oops, I just killed my baby. No, you just killed your baby. Your real child is now chained up behind, right? Because you allowed all that food to be in its stomach that you gave it. And so you kind of just be like, oh, yeah, right? But with children, no, their stomachs bounce back easily before 22, right? Like these little ones. You just gave them this regiment, gave them food that was healthier and all this. It's like it wouldn't affect them as much as an adult. So for say someone that young, it wouldn't do that. But for someone older, I think it would take longer, right? It's like you need that time to heal. You need that time to, and nature does that. Nature it helps you with that, right? It allows you to be able to just do that. It's a good tool to have.